Hey guys, this is the new Series 8 GMT from Citizen, and in my mind it's probably one of the best value GMT watches you can get right now, and the best value True GMT watch in fact. So what is a True GMT watch? Well, as opposed to an Office GMT, if you own a typical GMT watch with an ETA movement, you'll find that as you adjust the GMT, the 24-hour hand is the one that jumps. In a True GMT, it's the hour hand instead that jumps. So let me show you how useful this difference is when you are actually traveling. So what I'm going to do is pull out the crown to the first position, and I'll wiggle it slightly, and you'll see that the hour hand is moving a little bit. So let's say I'm in a plane right now and I'm going to a time zone which is 4 hours backwards. So what I do is that I check that my local time, which is about 10:09, is synchronized to the 24-hour hand, which is pointing to roughly about 10. I move the hour hand backwards 4 hours, 1, 2, 3, 4. And so we find that in the new time zone that I'm in, it's 6:09. And back home, which is indicated by this hand, it's still the same time. As you travel the world, no matter what time zone you are, all you have to do is to jump the hour hand back and forth as you please, and your home time remains the same. So in that sense, it's very useful. You'll be able to know what time it is at home. You'll be able to call home and not wake people up at the wrong time. So let me just put this back to 10 right now and show you a different way that you can use this watch. So let's say you're not traveling, but instead you want to track the time zone of a friend overseas, right? So right now the time again is showing 10:10 and the 24-hour hand is showing 10. So this would be the default setting if you're at home. So let's say your friend is right now at a time zone which is, say, 8 o'clock. So this is the 24-hour hand, and what you do is you move the bezel all the way such that it aligns with 20, which is 8 p.m. So that's a quick and easy way to track the time zone of someone else overseas if you yourself are not traveling. Of course, this 24-hour bezel can be used to track a third time zone, but I think when you get to that point, the whole watch starts to get a little bit complicated to use. Now, there's one other consideration about the way this movement works that makes this a good traveling watch. If I were to pull out the crown again to the first position and jump the hour hand, as I would if I were traveling, you notice something interesting. When I go past midnight, the date jumps, and when I move the hands backwards, it jumps back again. Now, this is very useful because if you're traveling across time zones one way, you would typically be traveling the other way when you return. In those instances, if you were wearing a watch with a date that can only go forward, there might be a bit of difficulty setting the date correctly without breaking the watch, or you would have to probably go through the entire month in order to get the correct date at the time that you want to get the correct date. So this is a big benefit of a True GMT watch, and a lot of the other True GMT watches from more expensive brands also do this. The one big benefit of this watch is its price, which is $1,690 approximately, and that depends on where you buy it. It's probably the most cost-effective way to have a True GMT watch that you would really be willing to travel with. Many of the other True GMT watches on the market are considerably more expensive, and when you're out and about, wearing this is definitely more comfortable from a financial perspective. Adding to the credentials of this watch as a great watch for traveling, we have a very decent 13.5mm thickness, along with a 41mm case width, as well as 100 meters of water resistance, so you can swim with this watch without worry. And lastly, the typical Series 8 feature of magnetic resistance to 16,000 amperes per meter, which is equivalent to about 200 Gauss. Now, the watch comes in two other variations. This version here with a black and blue bezel with a black dial, and this one which comes with a red and blue bezel and a blue dial. And this slightly fancier 1,300 piece limited edition model, which has a gold colored plating over the stainless steel case and bracelet, paired with a brown and white bezel and a dial inspired by, according to the press release, long autumn grasses illuminated by the warm glow of sunset, which is really quite poetic. Now, one of the things you might think of when you are looking at a watch like this is how the design and color scheme reminds you of the watches from an important Swiss brand that we all know about. That may be the case, but you know what? The designs of that brand have become ubiquitous enough that I say, buy and enjoy this watch without worry, because nobody really cares. In summary then, this is overall a great choice for you if you are truly traveling, as well as a great everyday watch, and all for a friendly price. What's not to love? Check out this watch at your Citizen dealer if you can, and I promise you, I think you'll be very surprised at what you are getting for your money. Thanks, and see you again soon.